Good evening and welcome to this breaking news update. We begin tonight with a major development from West Africa that is drawing international attention.
Kenyans are suffering. We call upon the Continental Council to act now. Justice must prevail.
I want to start by speaking directly from my heart. For days now, I have been watching what is happening in Kenya. I have been receiving reports, seeing the images, and hearing the cries of the people. Young men, young women, even elders in the streets, holding their hands up, asking for one thing, a better life. But instead of being heard, instead of being listened to, they are being met with violence. Tear gas in the air. Rubber bullets and sometimes live bullets. Beatings in broad daylight. Families crying because their sons and daughters did not return home. My brothers and sisters in Kenya, I feel your pain. I know what it means to be ignored by leaders who are supposed to protect you. I know what it means to live in fear, to wonder if tomorrow will be better or worse. That is why I cannot keep quiet. Some people will say, why is Traoré speaking about another country? But my answer is very simple, because we are all Africans. The pain of a Kenyan is the pain of a Burkina. The suffering of a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, a Ugandan, is also my suffering. When one country bleeds, the whole continent bleeds. And let us be honest, this is not just about Kenya. It is about the future of Africa. If we allow leaders to abuse their power, to use the police and the army against innocent citizens, then we set a dangerous example for the whole continent. I do not speak these words to attack President William Ruto personally. I speak because I have seen enough. The situation is serious. People are dying. People are being silenced. And no one is asking questions. That is why today I am calling on the African Union to act. We cannot continue to release statements and then move on as if nothing is happening. We cannot just watch from a distance. It is time for the African Union to open a full, independent investigation into President William Ruto and his government. We must find out the truth. We must ask the hard questions. Who gave the orders for the police to open fire on unarmed citizens? Who is responsible for the injuries and the deaths? Who is making decisions that put ordinary people in danger? Without answers, there can be no peace. Without justice, there can be no trust between the people and the government. Let me be clear, I am not speaking against the Kenyan government because I hate it. I respect Kenya. It is a proud nation with a long history of leadership in Africa. But right now, Kenya is hurting. And we must tell the truth, even when it is hard. I also want to speak directly to the leaders of the African Union. My brothers, my sisters, we were chosen to lead because the people believed we would protect them. If we fail to act when our people are in danger, then we fail our purpose. The African Union cannot just be a building in Addis Ababa where we hold meetings and drink tea. It must be a strong institution that stands for justice and human rights. If we close our eyes to the pain of Kenyans today, we will be closing our eyes to our own pain tomorrow. This is why I am speaking now. We need the AU to send investigators to Kenya immediately. We need them to go to the streets, to the hospitals, to the families who have lost loved ones, and find out the facts. I do not want this to be another moment where we watch the news, feel sad for a few days, and then forget. We must act now, not tomorrow, not next week. Now. My heart is heavy because I know the pain that injustice brings. I know the fear that comes when you feel your voice does not matter. And I do not want the people of Kenya to feel alone. That is why I am speaking clearly. President William Ruto and his government must be investigated. Not because we want to punish anyone unfairly, but because we want the truth. If he is innocent, then the investigation will show that. But if the government has abused its power, then it must answer for it. I am not asking for violence. I am not asking for hate. I am asking for accountability. That is the only way Kenya will heal. That is the only way we can stop the cycle of fear and mistrust. And to the young people of Kenya, I want to say this: I see you. The world sees you. Your courage is not in vain. Do not give up. Do not lose hope. Change will come, but we must fight for it in the right way. We Africans must remember, the power belongs to the people. Governments are chosen to serve, not to rule with fear. When leaders forget that, we must remind them. So I end this chapter with one strong message: the African Union must open an investigation now. We must not wait until the numbers of the dead rise higher. We must not wait until more families are left broken. We must not wait until the country falls into chaos. The time is now. The people of Kenya deserve justice. And we, as Africans, must stand with them. I want to speak directly to the African Union today. You were created for moments like this. When any African country is in danger, when citizens are crying out for help, you are the ones who must act. That is why you exist. Not just to hold meetings and make speeches, but to protect lives and defend justice. What is happening in Kenya right now is not a small problem. It is not something that will just go away if we ignore it. It is serious, and it could get worse. This is why the African Union must act quickly and firmly. I am asking you to send a special team of investigators to Kenya immediately. Do not wait for permission from those in power. Go and see with your own eyes what is happening on the ground. Speak to the mothers and fathers who have lost their children. Speak to the young men and women who have been injured. Speak to doctors in hospitals who have treated those wounded in the protests. We cannot base our decisions on rumors. We need facts, we need evidence, and we need the truth. This is the only way we can protect the people and hold those in power accountable. Some of you in the African Union might be thinking, this is a Kenyan issue. We should not interfere. But I want to tell you this: when leaders harm their citizens and no one asks questions, it gives permission for others to do the same in their countries. Injustice in one country quickly spreads across the continent. We have seen this before. We saw it in places where governments used excessive force and the international community kept quiet. The result is always the same: more deaths, more anger, more instability. Africa cannot afford that. Kenya is a strong country, an important country in the region. If it falls into deeper chaos, it will not only hurt Kenyans, it will affect neighbors too. Businesses will close. Families will be displaced. There will be fear and confusion. We must act before it reaches that point. I am also calling on the African Union to demand answers from President William Ruto and his government. Ask them the hard questions: why are so many citizens being harmed during peaceful demonstrations? Who is giving the orders for such force to be used? Why are journalists being threatened and arrested for showing the truth? These questions must be asked, and they must be answered openly. The people of Kenya deserve that. They are not enemies of the state. They are citizens of a free nation, and they have the right to express themselves without fear. I want the African Union to remember its responsibility. The AU is not a club for presidents and prime ministers. It is an institution for all Africans. Its main duty is to protect those who have no voice. That is the real meaning of leadership. Do not think this is about embarrassing anyone. It is not about making one leader look weak. It is about defending the dignity of African citizens. It is about making sure that leaders know they cannot abuse their power without consequences. If we fail to act, we will be telling every young African that their lives do not matter. We will be telling them that leaders can do anything and get away with it. And when that message spreads, it destroys hope. It kills the belief in a better future. I want the African Union to rise to the occasion. Show the world that Africa can solve its own problems. We do not need outsiders to tell us what to do. We must show that we can stand up for our people when it matters most. Send a team to Kenya. Create a panel of respected African judges, lawyers, and human rights experts. Let them investigate the protests, the killings, the arrests, and the intimidation. Let them publish their findings openly, so every Kenyan and every African can see the truth. And once the truth is known, take action. If crimes have been committed, hold those responsible to account, no matter who they are. That is the only way to bring healing and trust back to Kenya. I also want the African Union to work with Kenyan civil society. These are the people on the ground who know what is happening. They are the ones protecting victims, providing legal support, and speaking out when others are afraid. They must be included in this process. Let us not wait until the situation gets worse. Let us not wait until it becomes too late. The African Union has the power to stop the bleeding now. But power means nothing if it is not used to protect the people. This is my message: Kenya needs you. Africa needs you. The people are watching. They want to know if the African Union is truly their shield or just a name on paper. Stand up and do what is right. Send the investigators. Demand the answers. Hold everyone to account. That is how we will save lives, and that is how we will keep Africa strong. This is my final message, and I want it to be very clear. What is happening in Kenya is a warning for all of us. We are at a point where Africa must choose: do we protect our people, or do we protect the seats of those in power? There is no middle ground. I want President William Ruto to listen carefully. Mr. President, you are not only the leader of Kenya, you are an example for the entire continent. The actions you take today will define how history remembers you. Will you be remembered as a leader who heard the cries of his people and corrected his mistakes, or as a man who ignored them and let his nation suffer? The choice is yours. I am speaking plainly because there is no time to play games. The blood of innocent people cannot be ignored. If more citizens are harmed, if the protests turn into something worse, you will not be able to hide behind excuses. The world will know. Africa will know. And the truth will catch up with you. I do not say this because I hate you. I say it because we cannot continue the old way of doing things. In the past, African leaders thought they could silence their citizens with violence, and no one would dare to question them. But those days are gone. People are awake now. The youth are awake. They have phones. They have cameras. They can show the world exactly what is happening in real time. So my warning is this: do not make the mistake of thinking you can hide the truth. You cannot. But I also want to speak about hope. Because even though the situation is heavy, I still believe Kenya can come back stronger. I believe President Ruto can take a different path. He can stop the violence, open dialogue with his people, and choose unity instead of fear. If he does this, he can still lead his country with honor. This is what true leadership looks like. Leadership is not about using power to silence opposition. Leadership is about listening, about admitting when things have gone wrong, and about making them right. That is what the people of Kenya want. I want to speak to the youth in Kenya now. You are the heart of your nation. You are the reason why there is still hope. I have seen your courage. You are standing in the streets with nothing but your voices and your hearts. That is powerful. But I also want you to stay safe. I do not want more bloodshed. I do not want more funerals. Use your voice, but protect your life. Kenya needs you alive. Africa needs you alive. You are the future, and we cannot lose you. And to the mothers and fathers in Kenya, I know you are worried about your children. You want peace. You want them to have opportunities. You do not want to see them in the streets facing danger. I want you to know, you are not alone. Africa is with you. Many of us are speaking out because we feel your pain. But now, words are not enough. We need action. That is why I call once again on the African Union. You must move beyond statements and take real steps. Put pressure on the Kenyan government to respect the lives of its citizens. Make it clear that violence will not be tolerated. If the African Union fails to act, we will send a message to every leader on this continent that they can do whatever they want, and no one will stop them. That is dangerous. It will not only hurt Kenya, it will hurt all of us. My brothers and sisters, we are one people. Borders cannot divide our humanity. When a child dies in Nairobi, it is the same as a child dying in Ouagadougou, in Lagos, in Kinshasa. We must care for each other as one African family. That is why I am urging all African citizens, not just Kenyans, to raise their voices. Talk about what is happening. Demand justice. Demand that the African Union investigate and act. This is how we will build a continent where leaders know they serve the people, not the other way around. But to President William Ruto, let me speak to you again, man to man, leader to leader, you still have time to change. Stop the use of force. Order the release of peaceful protesters. Invite community leaders, religious leaders, youth representatives, and opposition voices to sit with you and find a solution together. That is the path of peace. That is the path of respect. That is the path that will save your country and your legacy. If you refuse, if you continue on this road of violence and intimidation, then know this, Africa will not forget. The world will not forget. And the people you are trying to silence will rise even louder. I am not here to threaten you. I am here to tell you the truth. And the truth is that Kenya needs healing. Kenya needs leadership that listens. Kenya needs justice. The African Union must play its part. President Ruto must play his part. And the people must stay strong and united. This is how we will win. This is how we will build a better Africa. I end with this, the future of Kenya is in our hands, and we cannot fail. If we fail, more lives will be lost, more families will be broken, and the dream of an Africa where citizens are truly free will slip further away. But I believe we will not fail. I believe we will rise together. I believe that one day soon, Kenya will stand as an example of how a nation can face its darkest hour and come out stronger. The time to act is now. Let us do it together.